Jesus says, God is all there, so be brave and do the requisite. Those words convey the essence of divine guarantee and braveness, a message that penetrates the heart of every believer who seeks strength and path in life. While Jesus tells us that God is all there, he reminds us that the presence of God isn't partial, remote, or conditional, it's miles entire, eternal, and ever-present. God surrounds every moment, every breath, and every undertaking of our lives. His presence does no longer waver with time, nor does it rely upon our worthiness, it exists because his love is absolute. To know that God is all there is to understand that we are by no means on my own, in no way deserted, and never without divine steerage. It's miles a reality that should make the spirit upward thrust above worry, doubt, and hesitation. Being brave, as Jesus teaches, does no longer imply residing without fear, however as an alternative on foot via fear with faith. It's far approximately status sturdy even if the direction is unsure, believing that God's presence lighting the manner ahead. Usually, lifestyles checks us with problems that appear past our energy, but that is precisely when we need to keep in mind that God is all there. The storms may also shake us, but they cannot spoil us when our religion is anchored in Him. Courage isn't always born from human electricity, it flows from divine self-assurance. Whilst Jesus says, "Be courageous," He invitations us to draw our boldness no longer from the arena, but from the Spirit of God that dwells inside us. This bravery is not reckless or proud, it is mild, clever, and rooted in righteousness. It's far the courage to do properly even when evil appears louder, to love even if hate surrounds, and to forgive even if wounded deeply. Doing the requisite, as Jesus instructions, is another manner of saying, act in line with faith. Religion without action is empty, and love without deeds is incomplete. God does not simplest need us to consider in His presence however to stay by way of it. To do the considered necessary means to behave with integrity, compassion, and purpose. It manner pleasurable the obligations that God has located in our hands, regardless of how small or splendid they'll seem. Every so often, the needful may be providing a word of consolation to a person in ache, different instances, it could be status company in fact when the world chooses lies. Every moment offers us a danger to behave as God's representative on this planet, showing courage not through grand gestures but via devoted consistency. Whilst you remember the fact that God is all there, each action you're taking will become sacred. The paintings you do, the words you communicate, the kindness you proportion, all replicate God's love when done with the right heart. Jesus calls us now not simply to feel His presence however to specific it through our living. That is why He says, do the considered necessary. It way we have to now not watch for others to behave, nor hesitate while goodness calls. It's miles a name to upward push above laziness, fear, and doubt and to move ahead in the light of divine will. Sometimes, the requisite may additionally sense heavy, it is able to call for sacrifice or attempt that appears past you. But bear in mind, God isn't only looking, He is working with you. Each step you're taking in His name is supported by means of His unseen energy. Courage, while united with faith, turns into unstoppable. The bravest souls are not folks who fight wars outside, however individuals who combat the silent battles inside, the battles towards worry, satisfaction, melancholy, and temptation. Jesus reminds us that after we stand brave in God's presence, no darkness can overpower us. The electricity of God fills the believer with calm self-assurance, with the strength to bear trials and the staying power to watch for His timing. To be courageous is to agree with that even if doors close, God is making ready a higher one to open. It's far to stroll ahead even when you could see the full road, due to the fact religion assures you that each step is guided. The world frequently tells us to be strong by relying on ourselves, but Jesus tells us to be brave through relying on God. Human electricity fades, however divine braveness endures forever. The moment you surrender your fears to God, you start to see His hand shaping your future. Doing the requisite is not pretty much duty, it is about obedience. Obedience to God's whisper, even when the world shouts in any other case. It's far approximately paying attention to His Spirit when He tells you to behave, forgive, serve, or move on. Proper bravery is found in such obedience as it requires agree with past expertise. God's presence isn't always passive, it's far-dwelling and active. Whilst Jesus says, God is all there, he speaks of a fact in which God is fully concerned in each heartbeat of Advent. He is to your joys, your sorrows, your successes, and your failures. Not anything escapes his awareness, and nothing is beyond his restoration. While you realize this, you locate peace even in chaos. You begin to see that every difficulty is an impossibility to demonstrate religion. The braveness to do what is right becomes simpler because you realize that God's electricity supports your each attempt. Being courageous also method being affected person. On occasion the requisite aspect to do is to wait on God's timing, to keep your peace, and to accept as true with that the answer will come. Waiting isn't always weak point, it's far a shape of braveness. It takes power to stand nonetheless whilst your coronary heart desires to run, to believe while your thoughts doubts, and to believe while the entirety seems misplaced. But, in that patience, God works the most powerful miracles.